You know, in some ways, maybe this segment would be more appropriate in a few weeks. You know, Father's Day is coming, you know that. But I think you'll hear today why we can't wait. Things are happening sooner than later. Fatherhood is a huge determinant in the lives of children. Kids with an active, involved dad in their lives do better. When dad's not there, as is too often the case, the consequences are often negative. In America, 19.7 million children, more than 1 in 4, lives without a father in the home. Those kids are 4 times at greater risk of poverty, 7 times more likely to become pregnant as a teenager, and use drugs, and involved in crime. Someone who believes that dads in a kid's life is a positive thing is this guy, Mark Robinson, founder of Restore. He came out of high school down in, I want to say, Pensacola.
Yes.
He was all it in the sport of football. Alabama A&M wanted badly for him to play for them. Early on there, Mark busted an ankle. I mean, bad break, figuratively and literally. Bone shattered, ligaments ripped to shreds. He was devastated. Decided to try the military. They weren't interested in the already wounded. He had the ankle. You would end up back in Newark.
Yes.
Tough town, from
Yes,
everything I've heard.
That's where I grew up at.
Where you connected with old friends. What were they doing at the time?
None of the friends that I had when I left Newark had ever graduated from high school.
No.
None of them were working.
No.
None of them.
But you came in, had a job, had some money, so they gravitated to you.
Of course.
Unfortunately, it's tough to sometimes raise all of them. You kind of went down a spiral with them.
Same direction they were headed in. Even though I had college education, military, working, had something positive in my life, I still gravitated to the direction they were going in.
How about that? As a boy, and then as a young man, growing up, what was your relationship with your father like?
It's great. I mean, it was the kind any boy would want. I went everywhere with my dad when he came to pick me up from my mom's. I can call him. He would come pick me up anytime I wanted him to. I would go to his, he was married again. I would go to my stepmom's house and spend the weekends. It was great. I was always with him whenever he could. However, when I was with him, he took me to all the wrong places.
He went to this. He took you to his places.
He took me to his places.
Sometimes you shouldn't be taking a kid.
Yeah, he took me to the bars he hung out with, his friends in the neighborhood he hung out with, to his girlfriend's houses. He had a second wife now, but before we went to his house, we went to his girlfriend's house. So he showed me all these things going on. I had a great time being with my dad. As a 19-year-old boy, through those years growing up, it was just so much fun.
Yeah.
But as I got older, I began to realize those weren't the type of things a father should be exposing their kid to.
They shouldn't. That's not the example.
That's not the example, yeah.
You would end up at Syracuse. You made reference to going to college.
Yeah.
The Orange up at
Yeah.
Syracuse. You earned a master's in social work.
Yes.
I want to get to about 2003. I think that was the date, the year, somewhere around there. You firmly believe you heard God talking to you.
I did.
What did he say?
He said to restore fathers back to the head of the family through the gospel of Jesus Christ. As plainly as you heard me say that, that's how I heard it.
Was there something in your life that put fatherhood on your radar? Was it already there and this came to the forefront, or did this just come to you through this voice of God?
It just came to me on the altar, on the voice of God. And when I heard it, I looked behind me and see who was talking to me. There was nobody around me. So at that very moment, I knew that God had revealed to me my purpose in life.
Restore fatherhood. So what do you do with this message from God for fathers out there?
Well, I try to educate fathers on God's blueprint for successful fatherhood. Because God established fatherhood in the beginning with Adam, becoming the first father. And at that time, God had already established a blueprint for successful fatherhood, prosperity in life. So if you want to restore something, it's to take it back to its original form. When you're talking about fatherhood, you just can't return fatherhood back to the 50s and 60s when, everybody had, most likely had 2-parent homes, dad working,
mom was at home. Yeah.
We want to return fatherhood back to when it was better, but that's not restoration.
It's Mark Robinson, and I asked him, Mark, why didn't you dress out for the show?
I did my best.
You do understand that many of us, most of us, probably all of us, learned about fatherhood from what? Watching our dads.
Yeah.
Some of us more blessed in that regard than others. My dad, a saint. How can a guy who had no real father learn how to become one, and a good one?
Well, 2 things. When I was growing up, I used to watch Father Knows Best.
I remember, yeah.
Courtship of Eddie's Fathers, all those kind of TV shows that came on that showed you what family's supposed to look like. So I had those images of what a household should look like. I didn't have it in my life, but I saw it.
But when you go out now, where do you find these dads who are not engaged who need to engage and become fathers?
The ones that are not engaged through various places, in church men's ministries, through some other social service agencies, referrals. You know, men are involved in some type of program. It was a treatment program, get referrals from men. And then I just go out and meet men to engage them about how important it is their
How
role.
open are they to, because they've made a decision not to be involved, how open are they to Mark Robinson even hearing your message?
Believe it or not, most men want to be good fathers. They don't want to have children and not be able to take care of them. So when I ask a man, why aren't you involved in the life of your children? The first answer they usually give me is, I didn't have a dad in my life, so I don't know how to be a dad. So I always say to them, well, you know what not to do. I said, you didn't have a good dad in your life to show you what to do, but at least you learned what not to do. Don't repeat what he did to your life in your children's life.
Are you finding dads engaging?
For the most part, I see more and more dads engaged. You know what really thrills me when I walk down the street or in a supermarket or anywhere is to see a dad pushing a stroller.
Yeah.
Or see a dad hold his kid's hands and the mother's not with him or whatever.
He's got a couple of very special things that we want to invite you to be part of. If you believe in this as we do, Restore Fatherhood, the Black Tie Gala, it's a Friday the 7th of June over at the Jesu there, Sullivan Center there. And then the very next morning, dads and kids are going to walk over at the Central Catholic, just down the street from us here on Cherry Street. The public can get involved. How can they find out more information?
On the website,
which is
restorefathers.org. You can still participate in the Fatherhood Walk. It's free to the community. Vendors are still welcome. And the Black Tie Gala tickets are on sale for the
they're going to feed you and everything. I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
You don't want to be there.
Yes.
You can't get a ticket these days to a charity event for $50, but you can to this one. Please join us. Again, restorefathers, plural.org.
Yes.
I love it. My thanks to Mark Robinson, founder of Restore, advocate for engaged fathers, keeping us on the leading edge of this so very important endeavor. And I'll be right back.